Hello there, this is Yanis from Arcweave, and this is our basic tutorial series. If you're new to Arcweave, we advise you to start watching from the beginning of this series so that everything makes more sense. In this video, we will discuss some recent features we've added to our familiar connections. The first new thing is you can now drag a new connection and drop it onto an empty area of your board. And this will present a menu with the options to create a new element, jumper, or branch. This saves us from the extra step of creating an item and then connecting. The second feature is that you can now add arcscript code segments inside connection labels. So far, we've been using arcscript code inside elements and branches. With this new feature, you can now manipulate a label's text depending on conditions or make variable assignments inside a connection. So let's create an example for the first case. If we go to this label saying, "Are you sure the skeleton has no money?" Here, we can manipulate the text of this label so that it changes depending on how many times we've gone through the loop. To do that, we need to add some code inside the label. We can break this sentence here. Are you... Okay, and then we can insert a visits check here. Now, just as we do within an element, we can add a code segment either by clicking the icon, arcscript segment, or with the shortcuts Control, Shift, and C, or Command, Shift, and C. So, are you, and then we can say if visits of ask about skeleton is more than one, we can say absolutely, and if. So what this means is the first time we visit the ask about, the ask about skeleton element, the first time we visit that, we see the option, are you sure the skeleton has no money? Because the visits are not greater than one. They are actually exactly one. But every next visit, we see also the word absolutely. So are you absolutely sure the skeleton has no money? And we can even do that with italics to emphasize it. Are you absolutely sure the skeleton has no money? So let's test this again. I'll just run from here with quick start play mode from here. So I see you remembered to bring your skeleton along, though, carrying a pouch, etc., etc. Are you sure the skeleton has no money? So this is the first visit. We don't get the absolutely, but if I click it here, we go, are you sure the skeleton has no money? Are you absolutely sure the skeleton has no money? And then we keep getting the absolutely part. The second case is if we want to make a variable assignment when the player chooses a specific option. For example, if we go to the end of the story, let's add an extra option leading to the same element. And it says, you are all unbelievable. All right? So we get connections leading to the same element. One of them says, oh well, and the other one says, you're all unbelievable. Now, because this is a pretty negative response, we may want to subtract some morale points from the party if the player chooses that. So we go to the end of that and click and hit return, and then we add an arcscript segment here saying morale, which is one of the already existing global variables. In fact, it's our only global variable. So morale minus equals 1. So we basically subtract 1 morale point. While the other option is more accepting, we can reward the player with an extra morale point. So we got 2 connections leading to the same element, but different assignments happen on the way to that element. And if we test this, we quick start from here. So remember, we don't get the option to pat the druid on the back since we haven't visited the element it refers to, but we only get those 2. Now, if I open our debugger tray, we see that morale is 10 initially, and if I click oh well, we get a +1. If I go back, undo, and I click you're all unbelievable, I get -1 and I end up with 9. So here's a bonus tip for you. You can use variable assignments inside labels to create a multiple choice test or quiz in Arcweave. Simply create one element for each question and then connect with multiple connections which assign different scores. Well, that was it for this episode on the recent updates regarding connections and labels. If you're finding these tutorials helpful, please consider subscribing to Arcweave's official YouTube channel. You can find us, the Arcweave team, hanging out on our Discord server, and of course, you can follow Arcweave on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm Yanis from Arcweave. Thank you for watching, and let the games begin.